let's look at the next question. What muscles create the irregular vocal vibrational pattern, or rather, what else do we know about how it's produced? And the question's relating to creaking or fry. And I'm not aware of any research that says specifically these muscles are creating this irregular vocal pattern in fry, right? Just the nature of fry itself is, I'm just, just tell you my opinion, but it's just my opinion, so I'm always happy to learn more. But a fry needs quite a bit of relaxation. It's not a high volume. You can't go, you'll trigger another effect. You can color it and you can increase the volume, but you have to have quite a bit of low volume and relaxation just to get that to happen, right? And I think, like I say, I'm going out on a limb here, but from what I've seen, if you look at different singers doing fry or creaking, the vibrations are almost unique to that singer. It's like different parts of the vocal folds involved. It's not as clear as to say the false vocal folds are doing this. They're vibrating against each other. Because it is irregular and thus very, very difficult.
It's chaotic in a way.
Yeah.
Like we see the vibratory pattern, but it's like wibbly wobbly. this, this is how I call it.
Yeah, if you talk about, the cricothyroid, thyroid retinoid muscles that are changing, length and stiffness of the vocal folds, okay, they're definitely involved in there somewhere. But I couldn't say that there's a specific muscle that's solely responsible for that pattern.
Yeah.
So I guess they're looking at how is it produced. It's different varying level. I think a chaotic is a good word, right? If you think it's a little chaotic, it's unregular because the amount of the activity of the cricothyroid and thyroid retinoid muscles are not consistent. They're kind of going, and the vocal folds are doing something they don't usually do unless you're talking to Kim Kardashian. But
Yeah.
it's very popular now. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm good. Thanks.
I
Yeah,
hate it
I'm
when
good.
people talk like that.
But people talking here in the United States is very common. And depending where you are in the United States, you'll hear more and more of it. And actually, there's been the research on creaking and fry is pretty clear that you shouldn't do it all the time.
Yes,
It's not,
because it spreads.
yeah, it's not a good thing to do all the time because it's not a good clean vocal fold closure. Not saying we can't use the sound in singing as an effect, but you don't want to walk around talking like this all the time. It's very, you're never going to get that good vocal fold adduction, and then you might end up sounding like that forevermore.
Or at least until you see a speech therapist or whatever.
About let's talk about when does Creak come in metal singing? When do you use it ever? Do you use this fry sound? Obviously, the fry scream is a big important thing to have in your repertoire. I'm working on getting my higher fry to a bigger volume level. But yeah, how do you use it personally?
Depends on the pitch. If it's like if I want to sound like tired or intimate, then the Britney Spears thing.
Oh,
But we also use it in metal music. Yeah. Actually, if I'll take like I'm thinking Deftones, like rock music. Um, I watched you change. Or Marilyn Manson uses that a lot,
oh.
like all the time. Um, um, sorry, forgot all the phrases. But this isn't real. I'm not mechanical. I'm just a boy. You know.
Yeah, cool. It's
But if I go up in pitch, then all the screamo things. Yeah.
Ow!
Yeah, nice one.
So how am I going to make that bigger? Yeah.
Well, you can't really get it very big. I mean, there's an extent that you can reach. um, this sound does not exist in very loud volumes, just doesn't happen. Or at least it's not healthy to do it. Maybe people can do it, but it's not healthy. So every time we hear people do it, most likely they have high gain microphone with lots of reverb on it. And we can actually hear when they are produced studio version, we can hear like that it's really out there, and it's like we've talked in the session, they have like the overdub parts, and then it sounds even bigger. But then when they take it live, you can see it. How is this band called? Suicide Silence, I think. He always creaks like up there, and you can hear in the production it's like you only live one life. You can hear this, and it sounds like, yeah, and it sounds like very big. But then on the live version, he sounds like I did it now. It's
Yeah.
like sounds like more, it's smaller.
Let's experiment with my mic here. So wait. So if I go away from the mic, you always are my,
Yeah,
you always are my life.
yeah.
It doesn't.
Nice mic, by the way. Yeah.
It just sounds totally different, right?
Uh-huh. So this is where we would mic technique. We would put the mic close, and we'll ask like for as much reverb we can get. And I always do this demonstration on the studio also, like and you can hear how I'm not so much on volume, but then when I get the mic up here, it's like whoa.
Yeah, and that's important because of course when I'm coaching metal singers, that's usually one of the issues they have. They're just pushing the volume, and we want to. I want to. You know, it's like because it sounds so aggressive up there. You know, "Wah!" But
Yeah.
but if you try and push it,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. You know, maybe
Yeah.
something else like you know if you go. And then we're getting a lot more arytenoid action up there, but there's no way to do it up there. It just hurts.
Well, as we go up in pitch, we can get more volume because the sound gets bigger on volume. You know how neutral can get. So if I'm like doing it on a scale, but that's like the max volume I can get there.
Yeah.
It's still pretty loud.
Yeah.
I mean, as opposed to
If you get close on the mic, then it sounds much louder, right? So we got to use that proximity effect, and also just be aware that in the studio there's multiple layers. You know, they're doing maybe even for one note they're just basically designing it like a singer would design. There's your dominant, you know, F1 pitch, but they're adding in these creaks at different pitches and different frequency levels to boost the complete sound.
Totally. I had like a session with a producer, and he wanted me to sing on a track, and I gave like this high creaking sound, and he said like, nope, it loses the power. And I was like, wait a minute, you know, open the compressor, open the reverb, open the echo, open the delay, put it up on volume, take it back in the mix, and then it was like, whoa, now it really works. So, yeah, that's a lot of production thinking there, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really important because it's and that's the effect. If you just think all of your favorite metal singers out there, you think they're screaming their lungs out on stage. They're not. They're really controlling that because they've learned that by having it in the sweet spot, it sounds bigger and louder than it really.
And then again, we hear energy. We don't only respond to volume. So even if I'm not loud on volume, but I'm going like, yeah, I mean, you feel that.
Yes.
So,
It's the energy is so important.
yes.